about what we can expect for tonight and the rest of this week from our weather. And really, it's not going to change all that much. Long story short, we're going to continue to see the kind of consistent conditions we've seen west of the divide. We're talking valley rain, mountain snow showers for a couple more days, cloudy skies in southwest Montana, but there are some changes on the way, and those I want to go into a little bit more detail as we get later on into this update. So let's give it about 30 seconds. I'll make sure everything's running here smoothly behind the scenes, maybe more like a minute, and then we'll get fully started in this update. Overall, we're going to continue to see active weather. So let me spin this back around. Overall, we're just looking at quiet conditions across the region right now, but this will give me a chance to make sure that everything, again, is working smoothly. Normally it is, but I just want to make sure that we are in good shape. So I hope you all are having a great evening. Hopefully you're, you've had a successful day and are ready to just kind of wind down for the rest of this evening. And as we go throughout this update, if you have any questions or comments regarding this next series of disturbances that are going to roll through, as well as what we can expect later on this weekend, feel free to ask those in the chat section. I'll try and keep an eye on those as we go throughout this live update. All right, for the most part, it does look like everything's working here behind the scenes. Should be about another 20 seconds, and then we will get fully started with this. All right, let's move this back around. All right, perfect. Well, again, thank you all for tuning in this evening. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask those in the chat section. Also, let us know where you're tuning in from and whether you're ready for more rain and snow, or are you more ready for spring? It's a question I commonly ask, at least I have more recently, but I think it's always a good one to ask just for the fun of it, since we are getting close to the start of spring. We are less than 10 days away from that official start. So really, let's dive right into this. And overall, we're looking at quiet conditions across the area. We're seeing those temperatures right now, if that'll go where I want it to. Zoom this out just a little bit. 30s and 40s. We saw highs today in the 40s and low 50s. Those have cooled back down after sunset. We're at 39 in Kalispell, 38 in Bozeman, 42 for both Missoula and in Butte. Winds have also calmed down. We were seeing gusts in southwest Montana anywhere from 20 to as much as 40 miles per hour commonly. And now we're seeing those winds less than 10 miles per hour. For most areas, this will continue to be the trend tonight, but as we get into tomorrow, those not rain and snow chances, well, those will be going up, but the winds will also be going up as well. Jumping into radar really quick, we can see that moisture, this next little wave, starting to roll in for northwest and west central Montana. Very spotty showers right now, primarily just sprinkles and light flurries in our higher elevations, though up towards the Swan Mountains, and I'll stop this loop. Up towards the Swan and Mission Mountains, we're looking at maybe some slightly heavier snowfall up there, still probably more in that light to moderate range. But we'll continue to see this moisture lift northward, and maybe a few sprinkles towards the Flathead Valley. We're seeing those down in the Mission Valley right now. So places around Flathead Lake, down through Polson, Pablo, Ronan, down towards Charlotte, and just getting out of St. Ignatius, but also back to the west, the Highway 200 corridor between the Plains community back across towards Thompson Falls, Trout Creek, Noxon, and Heron up this direction. Still valley rain, mountain snow, those snow levels right around 4,000 feet at this time. And for the most part, that is where those are going to continue to stay overnight tonight. But as I zoom further out, you see more moisture back into parts of Washington and Idaho. This is going to continue to spread primarily into northwest Montana later on tonight, and that'll keep things on the soggy side for the morning commute towards Kalispell and some of those same areas I was mentioning earlier. Libby will also be another spot to just make sure to have the umbrella heading into tomorrow morning. Now, for most areas tonight, cloudy skies other than those few sprinkles. We're talking temperatures ranging from the upper 20s to mid 30s for most. West Yellowstone down into the upper teens there at 19 degrees. overall, these temperatures maybe just a little bit mild in comparison to average for this time of the year. Usually we're still below freezing for those lows. As for tomorrow afternoon, temperatures above average are going to be common. We're talking upper 40s to mid 50s, 55 there in Bozeman, 54 for Deer Lodge and Dillon, 51 in Butte and Hamilton, 52 Missoula, and 47 in Kalispell. Kalispell and West Yellowstone likely are two cooler spots, as well as for the Thompson Falls area. But as we get into Future Tracker here in a moment, you'll see that really this zone between Thompson Falls, Kalispell, and up over the Divide is going to be a focal point for shower activity. And all of this still being driven by this west to east flow that we've seen since Monday, late Sunday night into Monday. But look at this trough of low pressure that's moving in. This is going to be bringing us some changes even more so as we get into Thursday and Friday. Most of the energy likely tracks a little further south, but as it does so, we're going to see a cold front pass through, and that's going to bring those snow levels down to valley floor, near valley floors, if not all the way down to valley floors, as we get into Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and Friday morning. So Future Tracker, it's done a decent job picking up on those spotty showers we were looking at north of Interstate 90. That will continue to lift north overnight, but you notice back here about 2-3 o'clock, right on the state line and back to the west, here comes this next plume of moisture, relatively narrow in scope. So really from just, I would say, close to the St. Regis area, back across Flathead Lake, and then across the Divide. Areas from that line and north is where we're going to see most of that moisture through tomorrow morning. Overall, we're looking at valley rain and mountain snow continuing. Those snow levels not really changing all that much, generally in that 4,000 to 5,000 foot range. We could see a little bit of snow try and mix in for places like Hungry Horse up towards West Glacier, though I think for the US 93 corridor, the Highway 200 corridor, this should stay primarily as rain. Also up over Lookout Pass and Marias Pass. We could see some light accumulations, not expecting anything major when it comes to travel impacts, but some light snow cover, maybe a few icy spots will be there into tomorrow morning. Biggest key takeaway for our valley areas, make sure just to have either the rain gear or an umbrella as you head on out. Doesn't look like it's going to be overly heavy rainfall, but some light to occasionally moderate valley rain and mountain snow will continue through much of tomorrow. You notice further off to the south, very spotty in nature. A couple of showers, primarily rain, further south into southwest Montana along the state line, except for right in those highest elevations. This is the point where snow levels will continue to increase. We could see them Wednesday night into Thursday, anywhere from 5 to 5,500 feet. But a lot of the moisture, as you see how quickly that dissipated, will start to tail off. Maybe a few sprinkles into early Thursday morning, but you notice in southwest Montana, here comes this next wave, and this is going to be a more widespread wave of moisture that rolls in. You can see that with this batch of activity back here along the state line and then back into Idaho. This is going to be associated with a cold front as well, and that trough of low pressure. As it marches east, this is all going to start as valley rain and mountain snow, but behind that cold front, we're going to see those snow levels falling all the way down to valley floors. That front getting close to the Interstate 15 corridor by about lunchtime. It looks like right now you see these wind arrows coming out of the west. Behind that front, still kind of out of the south and southwest. Ahead of that front, still looking at warmer air in front of it, but the heavier activity behind it. This will continue to march into southwest Montana as we get into the early afternoon. This is about 4 o'clock. Overall, we're going to continue to see rain and mix of rain and snow. There may be enough energy that we actually get some weak thunderstorms that develop, so maybe even a rumble of thunder down into southwest Montana with some of these heavier bands of rain and maybe even snow. So there is a very outside shot of a little bit of thunder snow maybe, or thunder grapple down in southwest Montana. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. But overall, just be prepared for some changing conditions down here. As we go later on into Thursday, those snow levels back to the west have likely fallen down to valley floors in that 8 o'clock period. But you notice not a whole lot of moisture is left for Kalispell, Polson, Missoula, a little bit down towards Hamilton, but the focus for at least the potential of accumulating snowfall that is not in the mountains, I think is going to be for places like Dillon, Ennis, Bozeman, and West Yellowstone, maybe even as far west as Butte. But even those snow accumulations, I think in most cases will be less than 1 inch. But in those communities I talked to and surrounding areas, there is an isolated chance we could see maybe 1 to 2 inches as things look like, as they look right now. Those snow showers continue across all of western Montana. Still, focus is going to be along and south of Interstate 90 with the spottier showers for northwest and west central Montana. Those continue into Friday morning. Overall, spotty in nature, not expecting too much in the way of impact further west, though. We could see, again, another little dusting up over those mountain passes. Further to the south, Bozeman Pass, Reynolds Pass, Monida Pass. We'll have to keep an eye on those, and maybe even towards Homestake as well, just depending on how quickly that area of moisture really consolidates and transitions over to snow. As we get into Friday afternoon, very spotty in nature, very disorganized with the amount of activity. And now I mentioned that cold front bringing those snow levels down. You'll see as we get into Thursday afternoon, snow levels in a few areas may be higher than pass level, closer to 6,000 feet. But then that cold front comes through Thursday into Friday, bringing those snow levels by Friday evening all the way down to valley floors. And this is going to be important as we head into this weekend, because we're going to continue to see active weather for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and likely Tuesday, as we see here in the next 5 days of the precipitation forecast. Right now, it does look like Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday will be the wettest of the bunch, around that 70 to maybe 90% chances of rain and snow showers. But it wouldn't surprise me to see these types of numbers back into Monday and Tuesday. And the reason for that, as I get into the regional travel tracker, is just more rounds of moisture that look to roll in. So this is looking, let me back this up just a hair. So this is Saturday morning. Saturday now afternoon, valley rain, mountain snow showers. Doesn't look like there's anything particularly heavy with this. Still a little bit more disorganized in nature, and likely the heaviest precipitation staying close to the state line back here northwest, west central Montana. We continue to see that into Sunday. One difference in the models today as compared to yesterday. Yesterday models were showing Sunday being a pretty soggy, snowy day across all of western Montana. Well, that's trended down. That's more focused up into northwest Montana, so really areas north of Interstate 90 and west of the Divide, as it looks like right now for Sunday afternoon. We still have a couple of days to watch this, so plenty of time for the models to adjust the forecast just a little bit based on new information coming into those weather models. But then we get into Sunday night and Monday morning. That next wave drops further south, northwest, west central Montana. We're continuing to see the rain and snow showers. Looks like for the most part right now it gets pinned up along the Divide. So if you have plans, I'll use Butte for example for the St. Patrick's Day parade. At least based on this forecast model, we stay dry, but it's not too far to the west that we start seeing those rain and snow showers take shape. So I would not discount at least a little bit of snow trying to work its way into the mining city around lunchtime for the parade itself. Going back on to Saturday, I believe the Missoula St. Patrick's Day parade is going on Saturday. I'll have to, let me make sure on that. Make sure I'm not telling everybody the wrong date. Let's see, Missoula St. Patrick's Day parade. Yes, so this is scheduled for Saturday at noon, and let's go Saturday at about noon. Could be talking about some snow showers here in the Garden City as well for that parade. So if you have plans out, just be prepared. I don't think it's going to be overly heavy, but there may be a little bit of wet weather about for both Saturday and Monday in Missoula and in Butte. Overall, it isn't until late Monday night or late Monday afternoon that we see the bulk of that moisture move into southwest Montana. Could be another round of light to occasionally moderate snowfall in the valleys as we head into Tuesday morning before that system begins to at least clear out to an extent, though some scattered showers on the backside of it for Tuesday afternoon and evening. will still be hanging around. So that is roughly, I think that's the last graphic I have. Nope, one more graphic. I was talking about the winds earlier. We are going to continue to see those in southwest Montana. Could be gusting anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour in most cases through Saturday, though this is looking closer to the Interstate 90 corridors, so places like Butte over to Whitehall, Cardwell, Bozeman. Further south towards Dillon, Virginia City, Sheridan, and Ennis, we could see those winds a little bit stronger, say 30 to perhaps as high as 50 miles per hour. So the further south you go in our region, we could see those winds pick up a little bit more. Biggest concerns, especially with those westerly winds after that cold front passes into Sunday, high-profile vehicles on those north to south roads, so US 191, 287, and Interstate 15, that could be a bit treacherous for those higher-profile vehicles. But the main takeaways: scattered showers, rain and snow will continue for northwest and west central Montana tonight and tomorrow. Then we get into Thursday. All of western Montana gets involved with the shower activity with that cold front that's going to move through, bring those snow levels down to valley floors. Mountain passes, I think in general about 2 to 6 inches of accumulation. I think most will probably be more in that 2 to 4 inch range. But a few isolated totals closer to 6 will be possible. Most valleys, we're talking less than a half an inch of snowfall accumulations. Most valleys may even just be more like a dusting. You have it falling, but it melts pretty quick once it reaches the surface. Southwest Montana, places like Dillon, Ennis, Bozeman, West Yellowstone, Big Sky especially, up in the mountains, have the best chance to see accumulating snowfall. But even then, most areas will probably still be less than an inch. So overall, nothing overly impressive with these series of storm systems. Just some more, I call it nuisance snow, but some good snowpack builders up in our mountains. And then we talk about the winds. We could see those breezy primarily for areas east of the divide. 20 to 30 miles per hour common. Could see 40 to 60 miles per hour in a few very isolated areas. So I think with that, I'm going to wrap this up, start preparing for the 10 o'clock show. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I didn't see any questions in this particular one, but again, quick last second, if you have any, feel free to ask those. But with that, I will start to wrap this up. If you have any photos or videos of the rain and snow you would like to share, certainly feel free to do that at nbcmontana.com/chime in. And then tune in tonight for our live broadcast at 10 for the latest news and weather updates. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, starting at 5, we have NBC Montana Today with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster and Jason Hurst. And they'll have the latest information on those travel impacts, especially for northwest and west central Montana, looking at Lookout and Marias passes, but overall, just kind of keeping an eye on those conditions for tomorrow morning as, like I mentioned before, places like Kalispell, Thompson Falls, Libby, you might want to hang on to the rain gear for tomorrow morning, or at least have it as you head out to work and school. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a great evening, and I will see you all on the next one, again, likely about this time tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier in the evening, but then I'll see you all with that one, or see you all on that one. Have a great evening, stay warm and stay safe, and I'll see you next time. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs.